In 1400, Prague, one small crime could destroy your entire life. There were no second chances, no fair trials, and no mercy. If you were caught, your fate was already decided. Prague in the 1400s was a city full of life, but also full of danger. Its markets were crowded with merchants, workers, and travelers. Goods were traded every day, and where there was trade, there was crime. But this was not a world of justice like today. The law was strict, and punishments were harsh. Even a minor offense could lead to public humiliation, or something far worse. People lived carefully, not because they trusted the law, but because they feared it. It often started in places like the market. Crowded streets made it easy to disappear, and even easier to make a mistake. A distracted merchant, an open pouch of coins, a moment of temptation. For many, survival was difficult. Food was expensive, work was uncertain, and desperation was common. Some stole out of need, others took risks for quick gain. But in Prague, even the smallest theft was taken seriously. Pickpockets moved quietly through the crowd, blending in with workers and travelers. Hands were fast, eyes always watching, but the city was watching too. Guards patrolled the streets, citizens stayed alert, and suspicion was everywhere. All it took was one wrong move, one person noticing, and everything would change in an instant. And then it happened. A sharp shout rang through the market. "Thief!" Crowd eyes turned instantly. The pickpocket froze. No time to explain, no chance to run. Guards in chainmail rushed forward, their boots pounding the cobblestones. The thief tried to flee, but the city had eyes everywhere. A hand grabbed his arm. Chains clinked as he was restrained. He struggled. The crowd jeered. Merchants shouted accusations. One wrong step, one exposed hand, and the fate of the accused was sealed. There were no lawyers, no appeal, only immediate judgment. The guards tightened the chains, dragging him through narrow streets. People watched silently, some with fear, some with satisfaction. By the time he reached the prison gate, he understood one simple truth. In medieval Prague, the law was swift, and mercy was rare. The prison was cold, the walls were thick, the air was damp, every breath felt heavy. Chains hung from the stone walls. The floors were covered in straw, but it was wet, and the smell was bitter. Darkness filled every corner. Shadows moved in the flickering torchlight. Whir! The chains clinked as he shuffled forward. He could hear the distant drip, 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 echoing through the stone corridors. Other prisoners were there, gaunt, silent, hopeless. Some coughed, coughed. Some groaned quietly. Rats scurried between their feet. Squeak, squeak. A guard passed slowly, keys jangling. Clink, clink, clink. He tightened the chain around the prisoner's wrist. The prisoner winced, as the cold iron bit into his skin. There was no comfort. There was no escape. Every sound was sharp, every shadow a threat. The prisoner sank to the floor, knees on straw, hands on chains, head bowed, heartbeat, thump, thump. Fear became a constant companion. He realized, here, in this cold, dark, damp place, every second was a punishment. Every sound reminded him of what awaited outside. Outside, the city watched. Outside, the law was waiting. But inside the prison, despair ruled. The court was open. The sky was gray. The cobblestones were cold beneath the prisoner's feet. The crowd gathered. Murmur, murmur, whispering, pointing, watching. Guards flanked him. Boom, boom, boom. their boots echoing. The magistrate sat high on the wooden platform, robes heavy, eyes sharp. Click. The scribe's quill scratched the parchment. Scratch, scratch. The prisoner's hands were chained. Clink, clink. Sweat dripping from his brow. Drip, drip. Accusations flew. Voices rose. Shout, shout. Some cried out for mercy, some for punishment. Witnesses stepped forward, pointing fingers, speaking fast. Tap, tap, tap. Quills marking every word. The prisoner tried to speak, but his voice shook. Shake, shake. Every word seemed weak, hollow. The magistrate leaned forward, stare, piercing, unyielding. And then, the verdict. Silence. A hush fell over the crowd. Hush, hush. All eyes on the prisoner. Anticipation thick in the air. The sentence would decide everything. His life, his body, his future. Here, justice was not about fairness. It was about fear. Every whisper, every clink of chains, every footstep reinforced that truth. Thump, clink, step, step. The prisoner understood. In medieval Prague, the trial itself was a punishment. The square was crowded. The sky hung low. The market stalls were abandoned, except for the watching crowd. Murmur, murmur, pointing fingers, whispers rising, whisper, whisper. The prisoner was brought forward. Chains clink, boots striking stone. Boom, boom. The executioner's shadow loomed large. Swish, the rope swung slightly. Creak, the wooden platform groaned under weight. Groan, groan. The magistrate's voice rang out. Loud, loud, announcing the sentence. Every word slicing through the air. Slice, slice. The prisoner's knees shook. Shake, shake. His hands bound. Clink, clink. Heart racing. Thump, thump. Sweat dripped down his face. Drip, drip. The crowd pressed closer. Some gasping, some silent, some laughing. Ha, ha, ha. Fear filled every corner. Fear, fear. He was placed in the stocks. Wood creak. Chain strain. Each moment was a punishment. Every second an agony. Voices mocked him. Shout, shout. Birds circled overhead. Flap, flap. The sun beat down. Burn, burn. The smell of sweat, straw, and iron mixed. Stink, stink. No mercy, no escape. Every eye on him, every whisper, every clink of metal reminded him, in medieval Prague, crime was never forgotten, and punishment was never gentle. The prisoner was gone, fate sealed. Silence, silence. The crowd slowly dispersed. Murmur, murmur. Only whispers remained. Pointing, judging. Whisper, whisper. The square returned to life. Merchants shouted. Footsteps echoed. Step, step. But everyone remembered. Chains clink. Thump, thump. Fear lingered in the air. Fear, fear. In medieval Prague, justice was swift, brutal, unyielding. One mistake could end everything, and tomorrow it could be someone else. The city moved on, but the lesson remained: obey the law or face its unforgiving hand.